Shashank, tell me what the hell is happening with the market, because 2022 to 2024 we had an amazing bull run, and now if I go back 12 months to right now, the market has given exactly a grand total of 0.0% return.
Yeah.
So what the hell is happening? Why has the market not given any return this year? So can you please break it down to us and explain it to us?
Got it. So I'll break it down into two parts. One is a macroeconomic standpoint and one is India standpoint, right?
Okay.
Now let's do the macroeconomic first.
When you mean macroeconomic, you'll talk about the geopolitical
whole
world
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think somewhere around September was when we started seeing the decline. September 2024, we started seeing the decline in the stock market. And that was mainly because FIIs, which was foreign institutional investors, were moving out of India. They were taking their dollars and going out. And this was the same time when around November, December, when Donald Trump came in, he started doing a lot of this tariff kind of a thing. Now, Warren Buffett had said this long time ago, that tariff is an act of war. Like if you're changing anything in that, geopolitics is so, controlled with everything that you can't make changes to this. And that is where I think the biggest turmoil started coming in. Now, if you look at foreign investors, like usually they like the market to be stabilized. They don't want volatility in the market, right? Small investors don't care about volatility, but large investors, when they're investing billions of dollars, they want things to be stable, right?
Correct.
Now, what happened was when this whole tariff situation came in, the FIS started realizing that all markets started becoming very volatile. It was not just Indian markets, it was Chinese markets, it was US markets, everything became very fluctuating, right? And that's when they started moving their money away. So if you follow the flow of money went out of India at that point, and not just India, out of most emerging markets. Where does it go into? It starts going into fixed income assets. What are fixed income? Either gold or bonds. These are the two things that was. And Donald Trump actually wanted this, where people come and invest in the US bond and all of that. But that didn't happen. And people started going into gold. Now, that was the first trigger that started in September, October. Second, when people realized that this whole tariff situation was happening, and then people started fighting back, like China fought back, India's fighting back now. Earlier we didn't fight back, but China fought back, and that's when central banks started buying a lot of gold at that time.
How do you fight back when something like this happens?
So China, first of all, I think US little bit right now is in Delulu land also, because they keep saying that, you make more money from us. But like, for example, in Vietnam, people were making Nike shoes for peanuts on the dollar. But Nike was selling that all across the world for huge profits, billions and billions of dollars.
Correct.
Add that to your tariff war as well, right? That doesn't come. Like iPhone, we manufacture it, but we're buying it for 1.5 lakhs for iPhone 17.
Yeah.
Like that's damn stupid, right?
Yeah.
So that is something was not factored in, and China was the first one to fight back. Russia obviously had sanctions on them, but China said, do what you want. We're going to be here only. And I think there was a statement by one of them that said, China was here 5,000 years ago, we'll be 5,000 years ahead also, we'll be there. So you can do whatever you want. And that's where the whole bond between US-China became fine again. India now did the same thing, and we'll get to that also. But that was also a good masterstroke by them. But I think that creates volatility in FIIs. Right, whatever happening in the geopolitical standpoint, war started coming in more frequently at that point. That creates this problem where FIIs are like, I want to chill. I want fixed income assets, and markets are becoming very volatile. And we saw that dip September 2024 to March end. We had a very bad market. We had the Iran-Israel war going on. We had our Indo-Pak war that happened for a few days, but it happened.
Yeah.
So all of this starts creating a problem, and we go into fixed assets. So FIIs have not come back properly till now. But in the same time, Indians were investing a lot. Our SIP income was going up. DIIs were getting a lot of money. That is a shift that has happened after so many years, that DII holdings, mutual funds in India, are holding more stake in India and still sitting on cash of 10-15%. So that is what has happened. So it became very overvalued, first things first. Second, what happened, because of higher taxes at that point, we got taxed on almost everything, right?
Yeah.
Because of higher taxes at that point, the companies are not making good returns. And honestly, returns drive the market. If the company is making money, the stock price goes up. Returns were flat, not doing well. And that is why we saw the immediate response from the government. Because for government now, it is very, very important for the stock market to grow. Because if the stock market doesn't grow, we don't become the most attractive emerging market. Brazil's almost at an all-time high. So if I'm a foreign investor, why will I come to India? I'll go to Brazil, I'll go to Hong Kong.
Do you think that is the reason why the GST changes have
Not
been made?
just GST, this started long time ago. There's a sequence of events that happened, right? First, the 12 lakh
Income tax slab.
Income tax slab came in. So that spending will start. Did spending start? No, it did not start.
Why the spending did not start? Because people would have assumed that, okay, up to 1 lakh per month income, zero tax.
Yeah.
Earlier I was paying 10,000, 20,000 rupees to the government. So that's zero. So So shouldn't that increase spending?
So how much were you saving with 12 lakhs stack? 10,000 rupees a month. That was going in faltu spending, not actual spending. Savings, yes, DIS, we were seeing SIP data go up. But we were also seeing Dream 11 revenue going up and other nonsense going up. So you see how everything is now linked. First, we had the 12 lakh change. Market did not move. Then they decreased.
Also, maybe because the inflation was so high that it just balanced it out.
Yes.
People are like, okay, anyway, things are expensive.
Yes.
Now I can buy those things which I was buying 2 years back.
Yes.
But I cannot increase my spending.
Yeah. And two things happened at the same time. You made the 12 lakh slab, which is great, 12.75 income tax. We remember that. Budget was crazy. But at the same time, your IT companies in India were not doing well. All companies were not reporting good earnings. We remember the layoffs that were happening in TCS and Infosys. Yeah. Huge layoffs, 15,000 people, 18,000. So you've reduced the tax slab, but people don't have a job. So that was kicking in as well, right, at the same time.
Yeah.
Then the government realized that this is a problem. So we need to make the companies make more money. How do you do that? You reduce the interest rate on the loan, which is also what they did. So they told all the banks, we will put 90,000 crores, that was that RBI OMO injection it was called. They put 90,000 crores into all the banks and said lend at lower rates. Tell all the companies that we are ready to lend at lower rates, let the companies take this, put a new manufacturing plant, take a new office, and you will hire more people at all eras of the pyramid. So that came in. But the companies did not take the money and they did not do private CAPEX. Why? Now, if I'm a private company and I want to put like a new manufacturing plant and then suddenly you say tariff is 50%, obviously I'm going to get scared. I'm not going to like do the CAPEX right now.
And then the loan also you'll have to pay.
Loan I still have to pay.
And so no one's going to buy from you because of the tariff in the US.
Exactly. So this was the second problem, right? And I remember this, Nirmala Sitharam ma'am had actually come out and put a tweet. It's there on Twitter. And she said that why are private companies not doing CAPEX? We urge them to go and do some private CAPEX because they made everything ready on a platter to grow. But India was not ready to grow at that point, right? Because of the uncertainty. This happened. Then 3 things that they did not work. It did not fuel the system. The 4th thing was the GST cut. That consumption needs to start coming up. So this was the 4th thing that they did, which was a high time kind of a thing. Yes, the government of India will lose money by reducing the GST rates, but the volume should either cover up, or our Russian crude oil, which is now generating 94,000 crores, is going to cover up this income. So that is going to help. Now, if this doesn't work, that is the scary part. Now, 4 things are ready. If this doesn't work, then the LTCG, STCG, which is the long-term capital gains and short-term capital gains that they raised, a very big amount they raised it to, right? 20% STCG, 12.5 on the LTCG. That also now needs to reduce. Why? So that the FIS can start coming back in and pumping money.
Yeah.
That is the last step in my opinion. But most likely with this GST cut, there should be consumption coming in. Private CAPEX has not started that aggressively yet. That should also start. For that, the global uncertainty should go down. And if you remember, there was a deal of UK and India called the UK FTA, Free Trade Agreement.
Yeah.
So that was done mainly to offset this US issue. And I think PM Modi had also put a statement out very recently when this whole tariff war was going on, that we are now aggressively dealing with multiple countries to start exporting to them. Because now we realized we cannot sit in one place. Correct. So in all this, the most stupid looking country is now coming back to United States because they're isolating themselves through all of these players.
Yeah.
And we were all fine. There's nothing wrong. You didn't need to do this, right? But it's consequence.
But they wanted to get rid of their debt by outsourcing.
That's not our problem again. Yeah. It's your problem.
Yeah, but they wanted the whole world to feel the pain for their overprinting.
Yeah.
Which is not fair.
And you keep changing your statement one day and then next day you're suddenly friends and next day you're enemies and then you're people are seeing through that bullshit right now. But from a financial standpoint, FIS cannot invest because until this thing is not normalized and he starts focusing on his own internal problems versus external problems, FIS will not invest aggressively in emerging markets.
Yeah.
DIIs are still fine. Hence today India is at a standstill. 0% return is because of this, but we're very close to that fire.
Yeah?
Very close to that fire.
Okay, so that sort of gives us a very, very detailed explanation as to why India has given 0% return in the last 1 year.
Yeah.
Glad you made it till here. If this gave you even one idea to improve your finances, send it to a friend. Helping them might just make you the smartest person in their group chat. And don't miss the full episode on Finance with Sharan. There's a lot more where this came from.